We'll call to order the Board of Adjustments meeting for June 10th, 2026. First off, we'll do Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Next, we have a roll call of members of Jamaica. Can you please note that Mr. Jake and Mr. Brandon are absent today. Everyone else is here. We'll open it if anybody has any public comments for or against the Board of Adjustments. Ms. Jamaica? No one signed up. I noticed we had another couple walking. Y'all here for the Board of Adjustments? Planning zone? Okay. Well, y'all already signed up, correct? One of y'all. Signed the card? Okay. So we got all that taken care of. I'll entertain a motion for accepting minutes of the May 13th meeting. Motion by Eddie it was? Yes, second by Willie. Any opposed? That motion passes. Next we have acceptance. I'll entertain a motion for acceptance of the written decisions for the May 13th meeting. Motion by Eddie. Second. Second by Brian. Any opposed? That motion passes. First up tonight only up tonight, we have zoning review ID PZ 3953.26 for Scott and Christina Brignac. You want to step up to the podium and tell us what we got going? Tell us what y'all have going on, please.
Good evening, Christina Brignac. I'm a civil engineer for the state of Louisiana, Department of Transportation. And my husband, Scott Brignac.
Can you pull the mic down a little bit there? There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
So yeah, we requested, we filled an application to request a variance on the side easements of the lot in Bluff Oaks Estates in Prairieville. I believe the easements were 8 foot on both sides, and we're requesting a variance to 5 feet.
Lance, this includes soffit and fascia and all that, or is it at the brick line?
As far as I know, it's to the roof line.
Yes,
The roof
that's
line,
correct.
okay. Is that right?
That's
Okay.
correct.
You know how wide your eaves are?
What's that?
You know how wide your eaves
Well,
are?
we're going to make sure that that's where they end, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like 8 foot to here, or, is it from your brick to there, maybe 2 foot sometimes?
Whatever code is what it'd be.
Yeah.
It'll be the roof line. Where the roof line hits will be at that 5 foot easement. It won't go past that.
All right, anybody got any questions, comments? None? None before we open it up for public comment? Okay. I'll ask you to have a seat, and we're going to open it up for public comment.
Great, I have Mr. Stephen Ehrlicher. All right. And he's not in support and wishes to speak.
Okay. And Ms. Stephen, we normally give you 3 minutes, but you are also speaking for the HOA.
Yes, sir.
So if you need a couple extra minutes, we'll allot you that.
I appreciate that. I'm Stephen Ehrlicher, and my wife, John Ehrlicher, is here in the audience. We are the adjacent property owners on the left side of the property in reference. So the side easement matters to us and impacts us. We did definitely want to be good neighbors to the Brignacs. Crazy way to say hi to your new neighbors. We've been homeowners for over 40 years in various parishes, different cities in California and Texas. And we want to be good neighbors. But we saw the posting, and I got a certified letter, so here we are, okay? And I did want to voice our objections to this request because we moved back from Texas. I'm a retired engineer, 40 years. And we had a lot of places we could choose to live, and we decided Ascension Parish, and we decided on this subdivision. And we picked this subdivision because it was unique, single street, only 45 lots, large-size lots, and proper easements that gives that intimacy and that well-planned development look. And hired an architect and got a hold of the guidelines for the Architectural Control Committee for the Oaks on the Bluff subdivision and defined the box that I needed to build my home in. And I have a one-story, 5,000 square foot slab with a large pool, and I have the same 40-foot drainage servitude in the back, and I am compliant from a side, easement perspective. And every other home in the subdivision that's built today is compliant, 100%. So I am here obviously to just voice that, one, it can be done. Two, it can be done recently. We just built our home less than a year ago, and we had to go through several iterations with our architect as well as the Architectural Control Committee to work out, to be honest, the side variances are the easiest. The easements, it's all the other restrictions of the Architectural Control Committee that needs to be baked into the final plans and ultimately submitted for build and then submitted to the parish. So I am asking that the Brignacks comply like we did and the other homeowners in the subdivision that picked this subdivision because of that. And going from 8 feet to 5 feet does matter. And you do have to take into account the drip line. And as you mentioned, that could be up to 18 inches. And because it's public record, I was able to see the layout. And the layout shows to the external walls, so just wanted to make sure that was noted, that it is to the drip lines. But also wanted to let everyone know that just there's guidelines to ensure compliance for the entire development perspective and not the individual homeowner. And when we bought our lot, it was made clear to us that there was a very strong ACC, a very strong restrictions relative to how to build. And we got a hold of those to determine whether we're going to buy the lot. And it was up to me to fit my house in that box. And we were able to, and I think I have a very beautiful home. I wish I was in the Brignac situation to where you would be building between two known entities, but we took the risk that our adjacent neighbor would comply with the same restrictions we did. So just letting you guys know that all lots are compliant currently, and we're just asking simply for the Brignacks to be just as compliant as the rest of the neighborhood. That's me talking from just a personal homeowner and current resident now of Ascension Parish. I was notified just an hour ago by our head of our Architectural Control Committee, which, like I said, I just built, so a lot of dialogue over the last year in building, and he couldn't attend. But a letter was submitted to the board from the Homeowners Association, and they wanted me to see if I can ensure that the board recognizes for public record the position of the Homeowners Association. I didn't want to come up here as a homeowner and talk on behalf of the HOA or the Architectural Control Committee, but I was just asked to do so in that capacity. So I do have a one-page letter.
Yeah, we
Is
have
it? And should I just paraphrase it since you have it, or how would you like that handled, sir?
What do y'all think?
I don't know the protocol, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we all sitting here multitasking, we reading as we
Yes,
listen
sir.
until you.
And kind of getting new to this, like I said, first time in public
And
hearing.
don't think we're ignoring you either, because we can read and we look at you on the screen right here, so.
Oh, I see you too.
We're
so I
not
understand.
ignoring you, so. Yeah, we good, we've read it while you were speaking.
So it just, as a, like I said, custom designed our home and built to the restrictions. My understanding when I was building is that the HOA and the Architectural Control Committee supersedes the parish with respects to the side easements, and that they can be more restrictive. And so I was asking also just to get that clarification from the board.
We don't really know. It's not our point to, it's not part of our process.
That's what they're basically documenting in this letter, is that they recognize that the board requirements, but also that the restrictions that are linked to the plot plan, which is linked to the property, which is then linked to the Architectural Control Committee, has jurisdiction and full authority to execute those restrictions. So the homeowners association is not by any means trying to object, but they want to record it that there's a separate process that then it goes through. And it does go through the HOA, it does go through the Architectural Control Committee, and that committee has full authority to execute to those restrictions.
That's not up to us. We're gonna make our decision based on our board and how we feel. And whatever the HOA decides to do in the Architectural Control Committee is between them, these homeowners, and a lawyer somewhere.
Sure, and I guess I just wanted to make sure the Briggs.
We don't have any input on HOAs.
And the parish supersedes the HOA restrictions. That's why we started with the parish. Obviously, we're gonna.
But we're gonna get you to come back up and speak again, yeah.
So there is obviously a different opinion from both the Architectural Review Committee and the HOA relative to that statement. And so I do want to be on record to say that I personally object to this exception to it and why the Brignacks are any different than any of the other homeowners in the subdivision. So I want that on record.
Okay,
Thank you.
noted.
No one else signed up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Maker. We'll close the public hearing. Mr. and Mrs. Brignac, y'all come back up to the podium, give a rebuttal, and answer any questions the board may have. Please.
Sure, I appreciate the comments and concerns that our neighbors had. Again, interesting way to meet, but we definitely do intend to comply with HOA regulations. Part of complying is going through the parish and applying for a variance. Obviously, I work for the state, and the understanding is that the parish supersedes the HOA restrictions, but we will obviously go through the HOA, submit our plans. We just didn't want to. I did submit a letter to the HOA informing them of what our plans was to apply for this variance. If the parish agreed, then obviously that meant we would be able to get our permit for that, and we would still submit our plans and such to the HOA to get approved as well. So we're just this is step one for us. Understand the concern about the intimacy. We obviously share that same concern. We do want intimacy. That 3 feet on the side of our new neighbors isn't going to be, I guess, used for encroachment on their personal space. It was really to fit more of the garage area, so it would be a quiet parked vehicle on that side. It's nothing that we're going to be encroaching on any personal space. We're obviously a quiet family. We came from a one-street neighborhood that was very similar. We intend to build. Part of it was also to widen a little bit to have a guest bedroom downstairs for elderly parents. So that was kind of one of the concerns, to need the extra space to be able to build a downstairs room and then have our one child who's older upstairs. So anyway, just kind of trying to mitigate any concerns. We understand that everyone complied, but because everyone didn't find the need for the variance, I don't think resonates with us to say that, shouldn't be any different. Our needs are different than maybe anybody else in the neighborhood. And like I said, this was us following all rules and restrictions, starting with step one with the parish. If they find it acceptable, then we'll go through the HOA with the rest of the steps to get our plans approved.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to add, and to his point, we do have that 40-foot back servitude, which hinders certain size house and a certain layout that we can do. So that's the whole reason we want the side variances, to be able to put this home in there, being we don't have 40-foot, or we got 40 foot in the back that we can't do anything with. If we had 10 more foot, we may not need this variance on the side, But, and to his case, he said the guy's been around, he's been living in different states and different requirements and this and that. I'm born and raised here in Santa Maria. I've been here for 3 years in Ascension Parish, and we know how to be compliant.
Any questions, comments, motions? Spencer, would you like to chime in on the legality? Okay, don't then.
That'd be a private matter between them and the
what I
HOA.
figured. That's what I thought, yeah. Yep, yep, go ahead, Willie.
Madam Bricknett, you said you sent a letter to the HOA?
I did, I sent an email.
Email? And what was the response?
HOA management, I didn't receive any response, so I was interested to hear maybe what their letter was. We actually wrote a letter and introduced ourselves and everything that we were planning to do when we first bought the lot to the HOA management firm. And again, like I said, before we came here, last week or so, I, wrote a letter, mentioned what we were doing. Look, we're gonna try to get this variance, and then we'll come, and if it's approved, then we'll go, ask the HOA their thoughts and feelings on it as well, but I didn't receive any response, so I was surprised that they sent a letter, because I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I'd
that's
love
what
to
I
have
was
known
trying
what
to
their
figure
letter
out.
said.
Like, you get a letter and you saying you sent a letter
Yeah,
or
we never
email and
received
no
it.
response.
No, I didn't receive anything.
Public comment is over.
Okay, I was just trying to address the question of why the letter was so, you done with it?
Yep.
Are these just rough draft plans, right? There's no final plan, so there's,
No,
Correct.
that's right.
forgive me for saying this, where there's no real investment outside buying the property at this moment, right?
We,
Like
like I
not
said, we
paying the
just did a
engineer?
skeleton drawing,
Okay.
just, I wasn't gonna spend a whole lot of money doing
Okay.
something that wasn't gonna
Were
get
you-
approved.
Were you aware of the 8-foot side setbacks when y'all purchased the property?
Yes, we
Okay.
were.
Is there any way to shrink it to accommodate, if not the parish's, standard of the setback, but even just to get away a little bit more? In other words, is there any wiggle room in this?
I mean, I'm gonna be transparent, I'm sure there's lots of different ways to design
Yeah.
a home.
I'm saying that would fit in y'all's need, let me say it
If
that
this
way.
is just, this is the plans that we had. We
Yes,
built a house before, prior, and this was kind of a dream home situation. So we, loved the neighborhood. It was very similar to what we had previously had. But like I said, I work for the state. I live downtown, so we were
Yeah.
trying to get the family closer. My son goes to school downtown, or at LSU. So this is, our dream home. This is what we have, saved up
Yes, ma'am.
for and dreamed of, and so this is
Yes.
what we were trying to get the variance for.
Okay, and I'll make
But-
another comment that, just, and not to be, parish and HOA, we don't deal with each other.
Sure.
We deal with parish rule.
Sure.
HOA is a whole different matter, just to say that, I don't know if the legal would agree with that 100%, but we don't care what HOA says, we have to care what our parish says, that's our
Sure.
ordinance and variances. Lance, do you feel like this is, within that realm for, I know y'all have accept, so I'm saying, do you feel good about this one, or is it kind of
I have mixed feelings.
mixed feelings? Okay, and I'm just asking that for advice reasons. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll say this, if you knew about it, and I'm gonna be kind of different on this one, is, I feel like if you knew about it, maybe, and you don't have investment in drawings or anything else outside the skeleton plan, which is awesome, by the way, that's what you're supposed to do. I do see that there isn't technically a hardship, that there is more of a need to adjust, and, so that's just my opinion right now. There's other members here that can be swayed. I do think it's a beautiful home, and I know it's a beautiful subdivision. And just to let you know, I was just educated today, 5-foot versus 8-foot, depending on the lots, to the new Unified Land Development Code, because the parish has a blanket 5-foot in the RM zone. So I literally called Mr. Brock earlier and said, why is this here? So I'm being educated on that. That's why I asked if
And that was
y'all were
part of the
educated
reason
on
why
it.
we decided to go this route is, I did speak to the parish. Obviously, I work with the state. I work with
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you know
all
the
the
protocol?
parishes
I
of the state.
understand.
So it was kind of told to me that this was a very simple process, usually not a huge deal. So yes, we did know about the 8 feet before we bought the lot, but we were also, I guess, told that this wasn't a huge feat
Yeah.
to get by. So that was one of the things that we also considered in purchasing that lot, was that this would not be something, as we were told, that would be such a hardship to get past.
Okay.
Going from 8 to 5, so we took that into consideration when we bought the lot and, picked the neighborhood.
Oh, I respect that. I know what you mean. That's it for me.
I kind of got mixed feelings about
Oh,
it too.
I'm mixed on
I
it.
got mixed feelings about it because the general rule all over the rest of the RM in the parish is 5 feet. And they're getting penalized because they have a bigger lot.
I agree.
It makes it really hard.
I mean, I would say this in open discussion, I'll say this is, like I said, I was educated today on this. I didn't realize we really don't deal with anything past 16 or 15. Usually we deal with lots that's been there since the 70s and, or whatever. And so this was definitely an educated task for me today. I will say things like like you have it drawn to the edge of the house, which is not the soffit. The soffit generally is 8 inches. Nobody really does 24 that I can say, but in my new construction time, but ACs and all generally don't count before that's brought up by anybody, but you do, ACs are huge, 5 foot does narrow it down. Your passers and mowers and things of that nature. That's why I was asking if there's a wiggle room, because here, I generally am a person who can see the fact that, okay, 8 foot is a lot, but would 7 be, could we make these numbers work? And being that these are a skeleton plan, I think we could. At the same time, I feel like if you knew the variance, maybe the hardship doesn't exist personally. And
The hardship is really the 40 feet in the back.
no,
I've
I understand,
never-
but just to
In my career
finish,
of
just
almost
finish the
30 years
statement is
being a 40-foot
the
coverage.
knowledge versus the ability. And so unfortunately, and I don't want to be the bad guy in your story today, but I would say that at this moment, I don't see a hardship, because I feel like if you knew the numbers, it's a beautiful design. I want you to have a beautiful home. It's a beautiful neighborhood. That's important. I'm not trying to be the bad guy in this scenario, but I do generally stick to my guns on what the hardship is in these scenarios. So that's not me saying yes or no at this moment. It's me opening it for these gentlemen beside me to give some opinions.
Got some more opinions or motions or?
I mean, I tend to agree with Devin that, we're moving forward as a parish with the new guidelines and code restrictions on new developments, right? And, this is a newer subdivision that's recently been developed. I know the guy who developed it. And no one went into this not knowing what the requirements were. And just the assumption that, it's easy to get variances doesn't appeal well with me.
How built out is this thing? Yeah? Anybody know?
There's still a few lots in the neighborhood.
4
So-
60?
There's 45 lots, I'd say that's probably 15 not developed.
Oh, okay.
So I probably spoke to the same developer that you're speaking of, and he's the one who told us to do this, to go this route. He wished that he would have put it at 5 foot versus 8 foot when he built those lots.
I don't think he had that option.
Yeah, there's a parish ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 9 feet because of my lot.
Oh. Okay.
I believe your lot size is bigger than ours on the face.
I-
Yeah.
We gotta stay this way, huh? I'm gonna be the bad guy. I'll make the motion if we're ready for it.
I'm ready for it.
At this moment, I feel like there's not a hardship. I feel like there's no investment in plans or anything like that, so there is no outside of purchasing of real estate and probably maintenance and grass. I do think that y'all could probably fit inside the ordinance, the rules of the ordinance, and so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna deny the motion, the request, I'm sorry. I'm gonna deny the request.
Okay, Devin's made a motion to deny.
I'll second.
Second by Brian. Any opposed? The variance is denied.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Sorry about that, but. Next up, we have some old business. Zoning review ID PZ 3922.26. Lot 17 of Stony Point Estates, which was one that we put on the back burner last month. The homeowner or whatever, the applicant asked for another month extension, so we're gonna push that off to the July 8th meeting.
Yes, sir.
Any other old business?
No, sir.
Any new business?
No, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Willie. Second by Devin. We're adjourned.